gas, 400 on the dash, 55 bills, but 50 for the tax.
We are in studio with Sueco the Child. What's up, man?
Hi! What's up?
What's up? I'm Miet. Tobias is here with me.
I'm Haley. Yeah.
Haley, the social media director, is here. Caitlin's taking some notes in the corner.
Hey, I'm Bill.
Bill. Nice to meet you, Bill. My first question, Sueco the Child. So I know where Sueco came from. It's Spanish for Swedish, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Somebody did the research.
Yeah, I did. I have my notes. So the Child, I was wondering where that came from.
Literally, I was just like 2 years ago, me and my homie Swank, we were just like goofing around with different like names.
Yeah.
And it was just like, yeah, what if you're like Sueco the Kid? I'm like, nah, that's terrible.
Like
what
Billy the Kid or
yeah,
something?
like, what if you're like Sueco the Child? I was like, nah, I can't do that. And then like after a while, I was like, that's kind of tight.
The Child, it sounds kind of like Jesus, the child is born type deal.
It flows better than the Kid for sure.
Yeah,
I like it better.
It flows better for sure.
It's mysterious. I dig it. So your like breakout single was Fast.
Mm-hmm.
We were wondering how it was like working with Offset, like how you got him to do that remix and Boogie with the Hoodie.
Yeah, we just reached out to people, and we just reached out to hella people. Yeah, and they were down. It wasn't as hard as people think. It's not as hard as people think it is, especially when your song's blowing up.
Yeah.
Just reach out to people.
So TikTok, I know you don't. I haven't seen any of like your personal TikToks. Do you ever make your own?
Sometimes.
I've seen you make like funny videos and stuff, but I've never seen them on TikTok.
I don't really make that much TikToks.
Yeah.
I more kind of observe the platform and see what's going on and try
Yeah.
to insert my music than anything else.
So I know you have like More Than Fast. You have that whole album Miscreant.
Yeah.
I kind of like a lot of the other sounds like More Than Fast personally. Like what's it called? Novocaine. I can never remember that. Novocaine and Sober. I was gonna ask. I heard like a Phanogram, kind of like sample.
Yeah, I sampled
in there.
Phanogram.
That was so cool.
Yeah.
It
I was
went
gonna
up small.
ask. Yeah. I heard that the other day. And I was like, oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's what I sampled.
I know you like kind of like hardcore indie music as well as rap.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the indie bands and artists you like?
You know Teen Suicide?
Yeah.
Okay. I really like Teen Suicide.
That's cool. Nice.
That's one of the main like kind of more underground bands I've been listening to right now.
Yeah, that's your favorite.
You know Bia Badubi? I think that's how you say her name.
I don't think so. No.
Okay, she's like some indie artist coming up right now. I listen to her a
Bedouin
lot.
or am I?
Nah,
the
I
same
can write it
person?
down. It's super hard to pronounce. I'll write it down.
I'll see it. Maybe I'll know it once I see it.
That's how you spell it.
Oh. Yeah. No, I've never heard of that person.
No, but you should listen to her. It's really.
What kind of music
really
is
tight.
it?
It's like old type like rock, but it's like kind of like hard rock, but it's like with the indie. It's modern. I don't know. It's hard. It's tight. Like it's sounds you've heard before, but put together in a way you've never heard before.
All right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, I love stuff like that. Something refreshing.
Yeah.
Some familiar elements, but
yeah, like it's some throwback stuff, but for some reason it sounds new.
Right.
I like it.
Talk about your versatility as an artist. I was looking at your album, going through your album the other day. You have songs like Fast where you're rapping, but then you do songs like Probably where you're like harmonizing and doing more singing. How important is that as an artist?
Like the variety or just the singing?
Just the versatility or the variety.
Yeah, like the genre.
Yeah.
It's just what comes out of me. So like,
yeah,
I guess that's important. That's just what I make. A lot of my music is singing music. Like it's all different types of feelings, and different emotions. It's whatever's going through my mind or whatever I'm trying to say at that moment.
Yeah, I like it because you can be able to switch it up and it sounds so nice. Because some artists they do try to do that, and it's hit or miss. But yours, it came out very well. It was done very well. How you can rap and sing at the same time.
Yeah. I mean, I've been making music for my whole life. I've been singing for longer than I've been rapping.
Okay.
So.
Is there a genre that you haven't quite hit yet that you want to like eventually explore with? Or maybe even just a sound, maybe not a specific genre.
I was like, when I was in high school, right? I was playing drums. That was like my main instrument, and I was in the jazz band when I was in high school, and we would do like jazz and like funk songs and
That's
shit.
cool.
And that would be super tight. Like, if I could figure out how to get on some of that type of music. It's hard, though, like, because it's so left field.
Yeah, absolutely.
That'd be tight to incorporate some of those sounds, but not right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of jazz musicians in Lubbock, so
I believe it.
if you need some friends.
Whenever anyone's studying music, that's the music that they're studying.
Yeah, jazz for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you were a drummer, right?
Yeah, I played drums.
I know you learned in an interesting way.
Yeah, I played rock bands.
Rock band.
Someone really did their research.
How did
Brownie points for her.
Oh, thank you.
How did you go about doing that? I've read that as well. Like, I can't personally do that. I can't play rock band, guitar
He
here.
has no
That's
talent.
I have no musical talent. So I want to know, how were you able to learn how to play the drums with rock band?
Literally, so when you're playing rock band and it's on like extra mode on the drums, you're like hitting everything on time. You're like going.
It's like realistic.
Yeah, it's not like guitar where it doesn't make any. It doesn't correlate at all.
Colors.
Yeah. This one, it's colors that you're hitting, but like you're hitting everything on time.
Yeah, and it's like actually relative to like where it is
Yeah.
on the drum set.
Yeah, and so if you take the same rhythms that you're learning, but like place them actually where the drums are supposed to be on a drum set, you're really playing drums.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's not that much of a stretch to jump.
What was your favorite song to play on Rock Band? Can you remember?
Yeah, it was a Judas Priest song.
Oh, Breaking the Law?
No, it wasn't
Probably?
Breaking the Law.
Oh.
I don't. No, it was. It's the one that starts off with the drum solo.
I could not tell you. Not super into
Hold on.
Judas Priest. Yeah, you gotta figure.
I gotta look it up.
We
That
gotta
was
know.
a Judas Priest song. Let's see, Judas Priest. It was Painkiller.
Painkiller. Oh, I've totally heard that one. Okay.
Yeah.
Judas Priest rocking out. All right.
Talk about Mr. B. I was reading the story about you and Mr. B. How he kind of inspired you, and I think you also gave a bunch of IMAX to the school. Talk about Mr. B and what he means to you.
Okay, Mr. B. Y'all really did your research. This is a good interview.
Thank you.
So Mr. B was my band teacher, and he was the first person I ever met that, like he figured out how to do music. I mean, he wasn't like super in the industry or anything, but he figured out how to turn what he loved and his passion into like a career. And I thought that was really inspiring for me. And he was the person that encouraged me and like wrote me recommendations to go to music schools. And you know what Berklee College of Music is?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, it's this
absolutely.
fancy school. I got in. I just couldn't
Wow.
afford to go. But
Yeah,
he went there. He was a really big inspiration, and really he encouraged me through a lot, and he taught me, like he would put me on to like different sounds and stuff, like from like old school sounds.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, like when I remember probably like 9th or 10th grade, and that's like when Good Kid, Mad City was like popping off, and like that's when everyone started like going, oh man, Kendrick's like the best, especially in LA. Like everyone was like, oh man, this guy is it. He was like putting us on to like way older stuff. Like he put me onto the Fugees. Like just older stuff like that. I like.
That's cool.
I mean, people like listen to kinda, but not really, because it was super old.
Yeah.
And so he was just like, "No, you got to go back and listen to this." Like,
Yeah. Learn from your elders.
yeah, you learn from the old heads.
What is it like growing up in LA or the West Coast? There's been so many, popular like just artists, rappers, whatever. Talk about growing up there with the hip hop culture. Like, how has that impacted you?
Like, what do you mean? Like how?
Because there's been so many. Like, you have just a variety of artists. Like you said, Kendrick,
It's a
Ice-T,
legacy.
your legacy. Talk about what does it mean to grow up in that culture. It's different how it is in the West Coast than it is down south.
Yeah. Well, the West Coast, LA, at least recently, it's a lot more like you gotta go and you gotta do it yourself before anyone gives you any looks. Like, you really gotta do it yourself, because there's so many people trying to make it. There's so many people trying to do it. Everyone's a rapper. Everyone got a mixtape out that's super hot, and you need to check it out right now. Like,
Yeah.
And there's a big legacy of really incredible, like some of the greatest coming out of LA specifically. not even just in rap, but in all types of genres. Because like when you go into rock, there's Guns N' Roses, there's Van Halen's literally from Pasadena.
Yeah,
like
I love
the Doors. Like there's all types of genres. Like there's so much legends that came out of there. So it feels like you need to really focus and do it, and then once you do it and you do it right, then you're on path for something big.
I know you started out with like the hardcore. You said you were in hardcore bands. And punk bands
I was I was in punk bands. I started off as the drummer, and then I became the screamer.
Awesome.
So I was the screamer.
Screamer. Okay. We got a screamer.
Yeah, for like our band was called Mar Vista.
Mar Vista?
Yeah, we kind of got big in the underground scene in LA.
Oh, that's cool. The underground scenes are important. The local music scenes, those are the best. So did y'all play like a lot of live shows, I'm assuming?
Yeah, we played a lot of live shows, and we opened up for a lot of like punk bands.
Awesome.
And like metalcore bands too.
What are your live shows like now?
I just
What'd
yell
you
at
say?
people and
Yeah.
they yell back. That's what it is. I just yell at people and I tell them to turn up, and
They do.
hopefully they do. Otherwise,
They
I stand up
listen.
there and I look stupid.
Just a guy jumping around.
No, but usually people yell back and they turn up, so that's cool.
Yeah.
And then if it's like the right time, then I'll whip out like the guitar and I'll do like the singing sad music
Awesome,
sometimes. But most of the time, people want to just get yelled at and turn up, so that's what I do.
It's like that's what you're gonna find in Lubbock at the
Yeah.
frat party.
Yeah.
for sure.
You're playing at a frat tonight, correct?
Yeah. I don't even
Delta
remember.
Tau Delta.
Yeah, there you go. Thanks.
All right, they're
You
one of the
saved my
big
butt.
ones, I think.
Dang.
Yeah, so that should be, and there's definitely a lot of hype. I don't know if you should pull a guitar out at
No,
those
I'm not pulling
shows.
up a guitar
Yeah.
out on that
Here,
show.
maybe this crowd,
Yeah.
yeah, but maybe not there. All right. Do you have any more big questions, or should I do?
I have one.
Oh yeah.
So not necessarily like famous artists, but who's the favorite person that you've worked with musically? It could be in your like
Pick a
hardcore
favorite.
days, but or now.
That I worked with, like, ever?
Yeah.
Sure. Doesn't even have to be famous, just person.
I would say two people. One is he's probably in the other room somewhere. His name is JD. He's the most talented artist I think I've like personally like met. This fool goes off the dome. He's in the other room. He got his purple hair. He most insane. He freestyles everything. Most catchiest melodies. Most insane things that you'll never think of. He's super talented. Super talented.
Yeah.
And then there's a producer I've been working with recently. His name is Michael Berman. Shout out to him. He like worked on a lot of A$AP Rocky's music. Like you know LSD,
That's cool.
that
Yeah.
song. Yeah, like he made that. And I've been working
sweet.
with him a lot recently.
Yeah.
And he's another one of those like crazy, super talented. Like nobody's heard of him, but like the talent level is
Yeah.
next level.
Good ideas.
That's
and stuff.
awesome.
That's awesome. Well, if there's no other big questions, I have a rapid question round.
Yeah, rapid questions.
So it'll
let's
be
go.
like super fast, like answer. You know
First
what I'm
thing
saying?
that comes to mind.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
It'll be a little goofy. Just hands
That's
up.
fine. All right.
All right.
Goofy mode activated.
Let's go. All right. What is the first song that you can remember ever? That one I'll allow some thinking.
Every little thing is gonna be alright.
Okay, some Bob Marley.
Yeah,
All right.
that one.
If you could marry any musician under the condition that you couldn't listen to their music anymore, who would it be?
Rihanna.
Great answer.
Is disco too cheesy?
Mm-mm.
Do you pee in the shower?
Yes, of
if
course.
You, if you knew you were going to space and you were only stuck with one album, what would it be?
Green Day, American Idiot.
Do you think Pitbull actually gets bitches? Or do you think he just sings about getting bitches?
Okay, he's Pitbull. He probably gets hoes.
Are ghosts real?
Maybe.
What establishment would you not mind being stuck in overnight?
Waffle House.
Is polka music cool?
Sure.
Do you like Vine or TikTok more?
TikTok.
Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Hell no.
What's
a
the
hot
longest? What's the longest you've chewed on a piece of gum?
I have no idea. Probably like a whole day. Probably.
What's your favorite song at this very moment? Just one that you were listening to today that you really like.
I don't even
If
know.
you were to pull out your phone right now, put
Okay,
on
hold on.
Spotify.
What's the most recent?
Let's look at what the most recent song I listened to is. I hope it's not something weird. Like, most recent. Okay, is my homie Tokyo. Tokyo's a ranch. He has a song called "Good Morning Tokyo." I listened to that today.
All right. What's the best ice cream flavor?
Neapolitan.
How many push-ups can you do in a row?
Not that many.
What's the best noodle? Like pasta.
Udon noodles.
Have you ever eaten a bug?
Yes.
Are dogs people?
No, they're dogs.
What's your go-to karaoke song?
I believe I can fly.
All right, you have $5 to spend on anything but food or drink. What would you spend it on?
Condoms.
All right. That's the end of my rapid fire questions. Thank you so much for joining us today. Do you have any new music or anything coming out or any new projects?
Yeah, I got this song I just dropped the other day. It's called "Okay Boomer."
Okay,
It's a
Boomer.
remix. It's a remix because there's a song blowing up right now called "Okay Boomer,"
Okay.
and so I remixed it.
That's
and
pretty
it's
cool.
I
check
think
that one out.
it's really good. I think it's good.
Sweet. Well, welcome to Lubbock. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah.
Any last words? We're not going. Yeah.
Stay classy, San Diego.
All right. Keep it locked to the left. Up next, we've got some great music for you.